I hope you guys can hear everything all right. Oh yeah, flashing lights because, of course. And here we select start or continue with the select button because this was an era when the select button was used for things like that. We are just going to hit start. And I'm going to tab away from my OBS screen because otherwise that'll mess me up a little bit. Let me pause this real quick and yeah. Oh, rewind feature. Didn't know that was a thing. Neat. All right. Let's do the thing again. Let me. Sorry, my windows are still a little bit out of order here. Things are a little quiet actually out of my monitor. I should probably adjust that. I am, of course, using one of my, I'm using my HDMI PC monitor as a television. Okay, good. That's the shoot button down there. Just making sure that I'm familiar with the controls, because, you know, I would know what it was like if I was playing this on the NES, but on this, a little less so. Yeah, don't collide with the spiky things. That good advice for life, you know? Okay, we can just hold down the B button, but it does have a couple of little spots of hanging there. The item that we just got at the beginning of the game, that is the Morph Ball, or Morphing Ball, or in this game, I believe, the manual said Marumari, because of weird translation. Enjoy your lurk, buddy. Yeah, so the Morph Ball, that should be a little obvious as to what it does. This does mean that we cannot aim down in any way whatsoever in this game. There were no shoulder buttons on the NES, so of course in order to go down in this room, which I believe is like where our first major goal is, I'm pretty sure this is where Kraid's lair is, we're gonna have to go find something that will cause damage downward, basically. So we're gonna need us some bombs. Also, yes, Samus does have pretty awful range on her default gun here. There's an item that we can get to improve that, but we're gonna have to actually find that. Whoa. And we died that fast. Keep in mind that I'm really not used to how these controls work. I've played this game only a very little anyway, and not on this controller. Which, this controller in this case is me using the two Joy-Cons hooked up to the thing that connects them together, that I don't know the name of offhand. As you can see, it's just easier to avoid enemies most of the time. Also, we get randomly spawning tougher versions of some of these enemies. So we've got this red version of the Zoomer here that is a lot harder to kill. Although if it's just going to wrap around the platform like that, well, it'll be hard for us to actually see that. Oh, why did you do that, buddy? Those bats do some weird things. I don't remember what they're called, but they do some weird things, that's for sure. And yeah, you can see down here, we're just at the floor of this big climbing room here. Got a couple of rippers in this room because we need some obstacles to dodge to make us a little bit more irritated. Wow, the sliding around is... I never realized just how much you get knocked back in this game. You can tell I haven't played this for a long time. But of course, this is definitely a game where you are absolutely not given much of any assistance in terms of figuring things out. You have to look in the manual for that. Which, I don't think we have any real access to something like that in this, although I didn't look. Maybe I just assume at this point, because... Although there might be. And even then, I'm not sure if the manual had, like, a map or anything. Which I believe there was a map for Metroid 2 Return of Samus, which is on the Game Boy. And that, of course, is going to be even more stripped back than this, but we will check that out when we get to it. And despite that, Return of Samus is, like, actually a better game. It has a save system for a start. Although, of course, this game originally had a save system as well. Back when it was on the Famicom Disk System in Japan. Which, of course, never came out here in the States, so instead, we got a version with just passwords, which later was released in Japan on just the regular Famicom. It is not worth climbing up all the way here, I don't think. I think we go to the right here, and we enter this weird-looking void tube. Pause for a second, I'm getting a message on the Discords. Oh. That's a thing I've seen before. That might be the way we want to go. I'm gonna try going this way. You're gonna see what comes out of it. And even aside from the fact that you can tell very much that this scenery is very tile-based, you will definitely start seeing some repeating screens as you go. That is just how a lot of this stuff was stored back in the day, that there was, like, just a certain number of screens. I think probably 255. Or 256, rather. And that was just the same amount of, you know, any screen that used the same ID number would have been exactly the same, except for the tile set used, which would be determined by where in the game map you were. Yeah, those respawning bugs, they can be a bit of a pain, but, you know, sometimes you can farm items out of them, so I'd say hard to hate them entirely, and then they just pop up right under your feet, because, you know, screw you, right? As you can probably guess, that item that we picked up earlier is a missile. That is the very first missile that we are getting in this series. And goodness knows it won't be the last. I believe this game, like most other Metroid games, has a pretty decent chunk, like probably 250, which is what all the other games that we're going to be playing have. And where are we? We're in Bubble Land here. We are in Norfair. I like to hear that tune, but... yeah, I'm gonna take a sec here, and I'm going to crack that all the way up. And it's just this game, it won't be too loud. Yeah, that's a pretty understandable thing. I think I just saw a notification for somebody coming online. I didn't exactly see what all it said, so, whoever that was, you effectively got a free shout out in this stream, I guess? And so here we've got, similar to the Zoomers, but they're on fire. Makes them just that little bit nastier. And these weird little plastic-looking dome things occasionally shooting off fireballs. Alright, we got us another missile. I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to be here yet. Maybe I'm supposed to go back to that second tube room and climb up. Oh! Yeah, we've got this basically hot rod version of the old Ripper, and over there is another one of those walled-in areas. In fact, I believe that effectively that is the exact same screen as the one that we saw at the bottom of the shaft back in Brinstar, which is what the gray area was called. And just using a different tile set. So if I were to pop open like a map editor or something and use a ROM of this game and I did something to that room, it would do something to that room as well. Isn't that neat? Ah! We fell in the yellow stuff. Get me out of here. I don't know what it is, but I don't like it. Ow. Ouch. Yeah, going backwards to this room is not very easy, so we are back at the start. Calculated. We'll pretend that I did that on purpose. Also, look at that weird screen wrap. That's... the NES was really funny sometimes as a console for stuff like that. Good old graphical funk. Careful of the tailless lobster. That's what it looks like, a lobster. You know, a couple of years ago, I very nearly, well, actually several times, I've very nearly purchased this game on cartridge at various places. And fairly recently, I learned that there are a couple of different versions of this game in the US release. And that makes me kind of glad that I never actually did. Since that's something that I feel like I should know about before I do that. But of course, there's definitely been times when, you know, like we've all bought used games without knowing about stuff like that, right? Like, surely we've all, or at least some of us, back in the early 2000s, probably bought like a used version of Ocarina of Time without even really knowing about the fact that there's multiple versions of that game. And you get it home, and you put it in the system, and you get up to the Fire Temple, and the music is fucked. And it sounds really terrible because, quite frankly, the altered version of the music does sound terrible. We're gonna go up, by the way. If we go all the way to the top, that is completely useless to us. However, I think this room has an item for us. It also has a bunch of these jackass bats. Oh, we need missiles out for this. Unfortunately, the select button is the minus button. And since I'm using the Joy-Cons in the little branch thing, that's not easy to get to. But there we go. We're taking the L and getting a range boost with the long beam. Oh, yes. Also, you can go through this tube and there's just a big gray wall back there. Screw you, Birdman. I'm breaking your orb again. Oh, that is so nice. I did not actually remember that the long beam gives you full screen range. Oh, yes. Yes, please. That is such a big upgrade. So with that done, we are going back down and we're going to start going across, I think, again. Going back through the weird tube in the void. Into here. And just go straight across the screen. Also, for some reason in this game, the doors will close over time, which is not a thing in, I think, any other Metroid game. Certainly not the ones that we'll be playing. Hey! Now that Waver is a real jerk. Oh nice, that energy pickup was worth 20. Heck, where'd my jump height go? Screwed that up pretty badly. Oh, if that thing doesn't want to get hit, then I guess we're just gonna have to do this. Oh, nice. We got an energy tank. That'll give us another 100 units of max energy and heals us to full just by picking it up. Which is going to suck if at the end of this pathway is where the bombs are and we need to suicide so that way we can go back to Kraid, but we'll get there when we get there. This might be another item room, I don't know. It's definitely set up in an area where... Because, of course, this doesn't have any sort of, like, weird non-Euclidean map geometry for those purposes. Yeah, this is definitely set up as, like, the passage to an item room. So this will probably get us something of use. I mean, it may even just be just more missiles, but that's fine, too. Also, shout out to that zoomer tanking a hit for the door. What a guy. That should be the bombs. I think that's the bombs. Yep. Nice. Real nice. Of course, we can bomb jump and everything in this game, but the sideways, like, screwed up bomb jump thing, that is not a thing that carries over to any other game in the series, I don't think. I described Return of Samus earlier as being pretty stripped back, but even that is definitely a marked improvement over this game. And instead of just... Oh, we need the ice beam to go up there, don't we? I was gonna say, instead of just suiciding, we're gonna search the area. Oh, it was flying at me backwards. That's pretty great. Don't know what causes that, but it's fantastic to see. Alright, well, this one energy tank has run out, so I guess if the going gets a certain way, we can just... So we went downward earlier, right? Because, yeah, that's where the Norfair elevator would be, right? Because that's deeper into the planet. Yeah. So we can try going up from here and see if there's anything going on up there, if there's any items that we've missed. You know, maybe another missile pack or something. There's a very few energy tanks in the game. I think only like 6 or something. So I'm not hugely concerned about those, even though, yeah, everything hurts really badly. But also, this is an NES game, so I would expect to be, you know, shoved around a little bit. Also, for some reason, the Red Ripper makes damaging effects when you shoot it. You can't kill it. Maybe with missiles, but I don't want to bother using missiles on that. I only have a max of 10 missiles. I'd like to save those. Alright, let's check out these green rooms here. And yeah, for the most part, we are just exploring around until it becomes time to, well, until it's time to die, really. At which point, of course, we will, very specifically, head on over to Kraid's lair. Because that's where we need to go. Ah, yes, this room with the tubes. This is, like... I hesitate to say a maze, but it's... conceptually along reasonably similar lines that... you're navigating an area that you... in order to... find something. Also, by the way, you cannot properly jump when you're in ball form. You... if you press the A button, it doesn't do anything. Oh, never mind, it kicks you out of ball form. I was slightly wrong. Until it's been a while since I've played this one. Yeah, that's just a matter of timing it right to get up to here so that way you can roll through. That is very unusual. Hey, stop comboing me, come on. Game, I want some more iframes. Want to buy iframes. Well, now we've come this far. I would rather not, You guys want to come out? Go. Now I don't want to die, because we're in this far. There's possibly something at the end of this. It would be nice to be able to get it. Let's farm a little bit of energy. I said energy. Give me some fucking health. There we go. 32 should be enough. Later games in the series got a lot smarter about what you get from enemies, though. Some of them would just give you, like, whatever. You would... that's not what I'm trying to say. Some enemies would just give you specific types of items. And then by Super Metroid, they pretty much got rid of that, and most enemies will give you occasionally from a limited drop pool, but more of what you don't have. And then, of course, Metroid Fusion happened, and it was probably the hardest game in the series. We got 15 missiles. I hope that's enough to deal with Kraid. But we will see when we get there. And of course, we still have his entire lair to go through, too. So it's not like it's necessarily going to be free no matter what. We're at 1 health. And now we're at 0! Again, let's call that calculated. Because now we're back over here! I like how this one zoomer just bounces off the bottom of the screen most of the time when you see it. It looks very funny. And oh yeah, this is Kraid's lair. Get a load of this funky statue thing. You see that in Metroid, Super Metroid as well, as you just go into its mouth. I'm not 100% sure what level of audio you're getting, but you might recognize this music if you've played Smash Brothers. This is from the Brinstar Depths level. Oh man, those things are mad at me. Yikes! That's a big jump. Big 20 damage I take from that thing, too. Jeez. And we're back here. Also, you'll see fairly uniquely that in this game, yes, the red doors do not reappear at all. In later games, they get replaced with blue doors, or... ouch. 20 damage a hit. 20 damage a hit from those things. That's pretty mean. Or if you're playing the Metroid Prime series, it's like a blast shield over the door, and it gets removed after you break it off, so that doesn't come back. obviously. Otherwise, that would be quite silly. Hell. This room is going to be really hard. Because they always restart you at 30 energy. And I know that Switch Online gives me a rewind function, but I don't want to do that. I just want the damn missiles, come on. Unfortunately, I screwed up the jump. Probably chickened out a little bit. This is gonna take me a bit. Get those missiles back. That's right, Side Hopper. Keep getting into my gunshots here. The naked ending. Ah, yes, this series where... Oh, jeez. Everything here does so much damage. Again, maybe restarting the player with 30 energy is a little overkill. Developers in 1986, but... Fuck. So, I mean, obviously, you joke about that a little bit, but of course, we all know that the Metroid games were quite famous for once you, you know, depending on how fast you beat the game, you got a different ending, and of course you got to see Samus without a suit. This is a thing that I've wanted to talk about for a while and has been part of a video that I haven't finished yet. Mostly by virtue of maybe getting a little bit of cold feet about, you know, people on the internet being fucking scumbags about things. And just sort of saying that really, I think... Let me adjust my chair here. I think, and I'll probably take a little bit of heat for this, but I feel a lot like the idea of Samus being a girl. I mean, it's good that Samus is a girl, but I frankly feel like the whole thing was set up very much as a bit of deception. Because in the manual, especially in Japanese, well, actually, I'm going to retract that particular phrasing a little bit because my memory is a little bit shitty there, but the manual obviously doesn't make it obvious that Samus is a girl. And at this point, you know, video games were mostly marketed at boys at this point. I think that's something that we can all agree with. Shut up! Yeah, like, that's the worst thing you've heard out of me in the last few days, okay? So, just because you're right doesn't mean you're correct. Anyway, as we keep getting killed here. So, the manual does not tell you that Samus is a girl, because it's supposed to be a big secret. It's supposed to be this big reveal, but of course we all know that video games were very heavily marketed, as they still are, towards penis havers at the time. And I got launched out of the room again. Apparently that bat thing does not like the word penis. I'm sorry, but sometimes it just has to be said. And so, like, I kind of get this weird feeling a lot of times that very early on, and this doesn't help considering some of the comments that some of the developers have had as jokes in certain, like, official material, which I will get to in a minute because it's actually pretty damn offensive, has said that, basically what I'm trying to get at is that I feel like it was sort of meant to like, laugh at people for stuff like that. You know, because... And maybe a lot of that is because it's 2021 and, you know, I'm perceiving this differently than I would have in... Well, in 1986, I would have been negative 4 years old, so let's not say that. That would just be weird. Fuck. That thing. Doing what it always does. How do I know to go through the wall? Guesswork. Pure guesswork. And in this case, it's because I know that that is a Metroid trope. So, you know, I'm coming to this with the whole, you know, this series is not new type of thing anymore. So anyway, yeah, point is that I don't think that Samus being a girl was really coming from the most positive place in the original games. Eventually it was turned around into something that was, like, actually really good. And I am 100% grateful that Nintendo basically made their most badass motherfucker not be the blonde-haired elf boy. Right? But it really was a thing where it took a very long time. We don't talk about that game. That game is a fucking mistake. Like, seriously, that game is a fucking mistake. In fact, Other M is one of the very few games that is A, not a Metroid Prime game, and B, does not fit into the main numbered continuity of the other games. So, I'm going to go ahead and say that Other M is a spin-off. I don't really care, like, if anyone wants to roast me for that. It's not a remake, it's not a Prime, it's not numbered, it's a spin-off. And I know that a large part of that is, like, literally just because, hey, you're just saying that because you think the game is bad. Yes. And so does everyone else. I don't think there's actually anything over there right now. Well, there has to be. They wouldn't put a missile gate there, right? Eh, who am I kidding? This is the 80s. The developers are dicks. Speaking of... Oh, that's a really bad segue. I'm going to... Can I retract that turn of phrase? So I said that I would... Oh, you. So I said earlier that I would talk about a couple of things that some of the devs said that were pretty offensive. One of the Japanese character designers for Metroid, back in one of the... And this was like an official guide for Super Metroid that was available that this came out of. So this isn't coming out of nowhere. Had as a joke, and I need to put the air quotes in there that this is intended as a joke on the part of this character designer that, yeah, I wish I had, like, a button that I could hit and I could just have, like, big air quotes show up on top of my stream. Maybe I should just, like, figure out how to wire that shit together and do that. Get some cheap, like, USB foot pedals or something. Don't hold up on the stick. I think I'm getting Joy-Con drift a little bit. So, back to the point. In this, I want to say that it was, like, an official player's guide in Japanese. So, obviously, this was not translated into English at the time, and people had to figure this out for themselves. This character designer saying of Samus around the Super Metroid period, so this would have been 94-ish. To give you an idea that this was very much not a quick process of, you know, making Samus into this, the type of icon that she is today. Referring to Samus in this air quotes joke with a certain word that is 7 letters long and begins with N that I immediately got cold feet about saying, and we'll just say that it is pretty goddamn transphobic, and it's one of the worst things that you can say about a person like that in Japanese. Yeah, not good. Very not good. Extremely not good. Which, I'm glad that there's been, like, a turnaround over the years to make Samus, like, a decent character, except for Other M. We ignore that. Other M is the birth by sleep of the franchise. Ugh, I choked on my own words because I said something that fucking stupid. Ow. I deserve to die for that. So... yeah, it was not good. That's all I've got to say here is it was not good. Surely there's a way for me to get some more HP back. Can I just keep exploring downwards? Am I just gonna find him at the bottom? Oh boy, we get a third version of this screen. I don't want to deal with this. Isn't the NES great, you guys? The space saving by just blatantly having the same screen over and over again. Classic. Oh, jeez, I'm really bad at, like, baiting those bat things to fall in a decent place. I probably should just take the missiles out after I'm ready to deal with them, because that should kill him in one shot. And despite the fact that we only have 20 missiles, those are pretty plentiful, drop-wise. Yeah, there you go. Alright, this is this room. Now that it's taken me... God damn it. I was gonna say, drop a fucking item so that way I can get through here safely. Herg! Oh god. Ouch. This whole area sucks. I feel like I'm missing an item, but I don't know what it is. I don't know that I want to look at the guide right away, but I could probably do that. Incidentally, I do want to point out that this is kind of why I think it might actually be a good thing that the Earthbound games originally came with player's guides in them. Originally, back when it was actually going to come out... Oh, can I not chain bomb jump in this? I apparently can't place bombs in the air. So So back when it was actually going to come out in America for that, like, brief 2-minute window that was the case, the game that we now know as Earthbound Beginnings, that was originally in the 80s translated as just Earthbound, and later became known as Earthbound Zero by fans who can't stand to have two games with the same name in a franchise. Fucking weaklings. Originally, that game was going to come with the strategy guide. And frankly, I think that's a good idea for a lot of these games because, wow, they are very difficult. Also, can I not even get in there right now? I think I might literally have to get the Ice Beam or the High Jump Boots or something. Actually, let's just take a bit of a refill here. Killed, get our piddly amount of health back. I'm not even disappointed by this anymore, because wow. Wow. Tab that image you sent me. Is that like machine translated? Because that looks like it. I'm assuming that that's what happened, but it is still funny. Damn it! There is a lot of, like, not friction whatsoever on Samus. It's kind of amazing. Especially because you think, oh hey, she folded up into a ball. That cannot be, like, a good shape. What, you've never heard of not friction? We're going! Oh... I speak English about as well as machine translations, and that's how I was able to recognize that so fast. Whoa, what the... What happened there? Fuck. Ball up. Well, okay, at least the yellow bees die in one hit, so that's good. Side hopper. Fuck. It went for the low jump. Of course it did. I mean, you'd think, oh yeah, it's gonna do whatever's smartest to hit you, but they don't always do that. So, shrug. Back over here. Shoot this thing in the shoulder. Leg shoulder. That's called a knee. On the other hand, the phrase leg shoulder is definitely funnier. Am I wrong that leg shoulder is funnier, though? Come on. Come on! I guess so. Leg shoulder. Leg elbow is an A-okay. Ah! Get back in the platform! Your shoulder protects your elbow. From above, maybe? So I like how now that I'm down to low health, the bee really doesn't want to drop an item. He went to college for art. And by art, I assume it's because you met somebody named Art, and I don't know, you really needed a way to kill them or something. Although that said, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm sitting here like leg shoulder sounds like what would be a direct translation of a fairly complicated word in German that means something more simple, like, I don't know, knee or something. Like a Gundam character. Also true. Damn it, I was almost at the end of the room. And then suddenly, bees! Da-da! No, no, not the bees! Not the bees! Leg shoulder. Our new Gundam OC. Oh, 00. What a... Or 00, rather. Is it pronounced... It's pronounced 00, right? I admit that I'm having this moment of like, pronunciations. There was a time when I really, like, did not use headphones at all when I was in the home. So... So there's a... I definitely have watched at least one anime series without any sound whatsoever. I've played a couple of video games without any sound whatsoever, including Final Fantasy XIII, which I feel I'm glad for in the intervening years. Like, Final Fantasy XIII is one of those games that could have been... Well, it could have been a lot better than it was. We'll put it that way. I'm not here to say, oh, Final Fantasy XIII could have been great. I'm not one of those people. You know, people who like it. But I will say it could have been something that approached playable. With a story that would still have been quite awful, actually. And it could have been a lot better than it was, and yeah. But the problem is that the main mistakes with it just make it a huge mess. Bolt Vanderhuge, though, is absolutely... Every single name from that is completely fantastic, so... Yeah, when I mentioned... When we mentioned Bolt Vanderhuge, really, because it's both of us at this point. It's not at the expense of every other name in that list. Wow, okay, now I'm not getting 2 hits in on these Bs. That's weird. That's a change, and I don't like it. I'm gonna go through a different path and still get murdered. Anyway, yeah, the Space Mutiny thing, like, everybody always is like, oh, Big McLarge Huge, and it's like, well, come on, there's far better than Big McLarge Huge in there. You're not even gonna talk about Punch Rock Groin? Damn it, I went back up again because I goofed it off with the left stick. Although, on the other hand, over here, there are some easier enemies. I can try shooting some of these things to get some health or something. Game, I need you to not, like, do this to me. Lieutenant Surge. Remember when Lieutenant Surge in the anime just had an Arnold Schwarzenegger voice? Give me the bolts! And then they later reused that for the episode where it was the 2 dueling gyms, and one of them had a Scyther and the other one had an Electabuzz. Which, of course, I will always remember because... Electabuzz. They decided, hey, we're gonna make that thing make the most hilarious noise possible in the anime. Lieutenant Budget. uh... 47 energy. That should be a little better. Also, we have missiles again. This music makes me think not so much of like a bad guy's lair as like you're on a rowboat. Going up the river of shit. I mean, granted, a little bit of that might be a dinghy. A Grossman. Yes, jump into the bees. That's the smart way to play the game. Oh, we got this terrible screen again. And I lost all that health. I'm so glad that somebody was like, hey, we should just make it so that way you restart with no health. And there's no recharge stations or anything in the game. That'll be fine. This is one of those games that's probably hard enough without that. Fine, I'm gonna keep the missiles out for dealing with the side hoppers. Any day now, buddy. Come on, Buster. I mean, this is a way to kill it. If it comes back, anyway. Alright, give me a 20. 5! Damn you! Fuck! Gonna be honest, I'm tempted to switch over to special mode for this and just be like, hey, yeah, okay, we're cheating because the game is bad, but no. 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 We're gonna... Okay, see, now we have... Well, first of all, I'm pretty sure we had, like, literally only one of those side hoppers spawn the last time. And now there were 3. I don't know what causes that, but... Good old NES era programming, I guess. And, yeah, you can see that we got screwed there, and also... The AI is sometimes a little bit just, I do what I want. Good old Eric Cartman AI. Get me off of this thing. And of course, we're only getting 5 energy back because, you know, obviously. I think we might be safe from this thing here. As we shoot it in the leg shoulder. Once again. Hooray, we survived, and then the bee decided not to take 2 hits because of shot rhythm. That's... I guess it's basically like the game being, hey, press the button 3 times instead of holding it down. Because, yeah, you can tell the rhythm when you're just holding the button down is a little bit... But... Get up, come on. Oh, hey, we got a 20 from at least one of those enemies, so that's nice. That's a whole extra hit we can take. And by take, I mean waste, because look at this. Are we sure that this qualifies as being designed? Like... I can say that about a lot of NES games, but honestly... Ah, yes, back to low hops. Alright, so we're gonna take a minute here. You're gonna listen to this track, and I'm going to go and take a bit of an FAQ dive here. And again, the game is probably gonna tell me to eat shit, but... Or, the FAQ, rather. The game might too, you never know. But... honestly, yeah. Alright, so it looks like there is something that we can go pick up that might help us out a little bit. I love the lack of guidance in this game. It's fun. Except the other word. No, I don't mean the other word that sounds like fun except for the last consonant sound. I just mean the other word. I don't know what that is, but it's another word, that's for sure. And again, does anyone know what invincibility frames are and where I can get some? Because they'd be really helpful. Or if that enemy could, like, operate in a more predictable pattern would be cool too, but that's a whole other thing. Back at the start, this will at least let us continue from a very easy place. Again, still dying on like the second screen of the game. This game is not good for that reason. Like, shouldn't this at least get a little more balanced out by some point? But here we are. Alright, so now we basically just have to keep going over to the right. Until we find a place we can bomb through. Because while the guide I found had maps and they, you know, explain fairly exactly which rooms are which, they're also, like, impossible to read, because, you know, why not, right? What's the deal with these things that are able to be shot through? That's really weird looking. There's also a place where we got a thing earlier, so... Alright, this is too far over. Let me pause. Let me go look at this again, because I need to hurt my eyes some more, apparently. So apparently it's going to be a little bit to the left of where we got that energy tank. Which would be like right in the middle of... all that tech stuff. That said, we'll do the thing here. Well, I guess we're just gonna go back to the start of the area and redo all this. Fuck! God damn it! It probably would have been a better idea to play Zero Mission, because that game... I don't like Zero Mission very much, but at least that one is, like, well-designed compared to this, because this... wow. Playing this as someone who doesn't live in 1986 anymore, and didn't to begin with, this is not good. honestly kind of like a lot of video games. A lot of video games of the older generation are kind of not that good. I don't have to tell a lot of you that, but I just want to point it out anyway. Quite a few of them are not nearly as good as some people think. Yeah, I know, right? Are y'all enjoying the low health siren that... You know... I mean, sure, it's important to tell me that my health is low, and by important, I mean maybe you should start me with some actual fucking health, so it wouldn't happen so easily. But they could have made the noise slightly less irritating. I mean, yeah, but it'd be nice to not get hit so easily. Anyway, to be serious, it really did take game developers a very long time, and in fact, I don't think a lot of them still even have done this yet, to make low health notifications not irritating. In fact, I feel fairly confident. I admit that I have not played a new Zelda or the only Metroid game that I've played so far that was released after Prime 2 is I played at least some of Other M. Mostly because I heard that it was bad and I was like, okay, how bad can it be? And it turns out worse than people said. So I don't know what the current status of any of that is. Oh wait, there hasn't been... There've barely been any Metroid games in a long time. But, you know, I don't know where that kind of thing is with a lot of these games. Is it still really god-awful? I assume it is. Because I mostly play, like, RPGs and stuff, and they don't put that in there. Risk of Rain doesn't tell you what your health is at. I mean, it has an HP meter, but it doesn't have a low health beep or anything. This might be the place described in the guide. What? What the hell is this? This is what you're gonna do, game? Also having the things that reappear damage you. That's good. Okay, so we have to go to the other one of these, I guess, because, again, this is some design, right? Like, I'm not a game developer or anything, but I feel like this is not good. Stands here and waits for the thing to crash into my face. Or hits the D-pad and fucks it up for myself. There we go, I got damaged. I want my health back. And I want to get out of that the easy way. I'm sure that if I, like, made a concerted effort to do that correctly, I could probably have gotten out of there much faster than I did, and we wouldn't have to do the reverse backtracking. Whatever that means. I'm going to assume that it means what's going on here. But also, I don't have the patience for that now. Because I am now realizing just how absolutely fucking terrible this game is. I cannot believe that there was a series made out of this. And it's weird because I actually kind of like the other games in it, so they definitely made some massive improvements, but... Speaking of butt, this entire game... Wait. Ow. Platforms. And... Alright. Back to going this way. Yeah, thanks for closing on me, door. That's real good. Had to get my bearings for a moment and be like, where the fuck am I? And of course we have to not get hit by that thing in the back because... I was about to say, is that not correct or something? Alright, well, let's see, they're introducing a few new enemies in here. Including ones that are causing some sprite issues, apparently. Fun for absolutely nobody. Sphere. Alright, this should be the ice beam. Yeah. That's our ice beam. As we'll be able to see when we hit something with it, I'm sure. I like how it just toggles the enemy between frozen and unfrozen. If they don't die instantly, anyway. Pausing for a second. Actually, you know what? Here, we're going to take a reset. This time we're doing it on purpose. And of course, this time we have more energy than usual, so that's helpful, isn't it? And the place we actually want to go is back to Norfair, strangely enough. So we're taking a different elevator. Damn it! Let me through! Oh, sure, it wouldn't let me jump over it properly because it's, like, still full hit detection. That's very weird. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me, at least relative to other video games. Also, you will notice, rather helpfully, that the Ice Beam has not increased our damage. It's actually kind of made us slower at killing things. It's just technically easier to. Is we turn them into ice cubes. Ice cubes those zoomers can just go through. I didn't need those missiles, why did I bother? That's right, because I don't know offhand how many my max is, because I'm not thinking about it very much. Alright, so this is the way that we're going here. Ow. Fuck. Well, hopefully I don't die of falling in acid here, but might happen. Or I can die of falling on a bug right after I pick up the item that... That's really, really bad. Hey. We like that game. Or do, I guess. This game's mother. Ow. Doing over here? Oh, it was a sprite glitch. That was really weird. Alright, so we're going this way because after reading through some parts of this guide, as much as I could make any sense out of it, there's some stuff to get over here. We can at least travel in some of this area without dying, so that's good. Because, of course, this area is very hot, as you can probably guess by all the lava and fiery enemies everywhere. Unfortunately, the big enemy there just blocked the small enemy. That's unfortunate. That's a pain in the butt. Imagine if your enemies strategized. That would not be great. Also interesting that you can see that little bit of elevator shaft up there if you jump a certain way. Neat. There we go, that's what we want. Hey, so for anybody who's still in here by any chance, did any of you see that Pokemon Presents or Pokemon Direct or whatever it's called today? And if you did, do you have any thoughts particularly on the new game that's not a remake? I guess I'll give people something to talk about or something. Fuck! Or I can just not land on the thing even though I jumped directly on it. I still... Samus, you need to stop a little more conclusively when you land on things. This doesn't actually help. Oops. Yeah, pretty much. I ordered a mouse today, so I should be back to FF14 pretty soon, and, like, doing actual things instead of just standing around in the golden saucer. Okay, come on, you dick. Are you just not gonna do this now? Have you decided that you're against doing high jumps, buddy? I guess it has. Okay, well, sure. I'll have to do this the slightly more complicated way. Fuck. Jeez, this is quite a journey. Supposed to just keep going to the right? Unfortunately, neither this map nor this guide really want to explain anything to me in this part. They're just like, go over here. Yeah, okay, tell me how to get there. Tell me what I want to see when this is from. I should actually go look that part up and be like, hey, it's whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna do that real quick. Just go there, forehead. Yeah, I know, right? Okay, it's from 1998, and I mean, sure, 1998, but also by then I'm pretty sure that when people were like writing these FAQs and producing maps and stuff on these websites, even by then people were not like this. Ow! Got hit in the foot. And it's so bad. I understand that a lot of work goes into this, but also like do the fucking work then. You know? Ah! It bounces me around when I'm not in ball mode. That's real good. And by real good, I mean fuck. And by that, I mean it's real bad. Okay, can one of you give me the 20 energy drop again, please? Alright, so I feel like that thing jumps up to the height that it's at when you spawn it on screen. Quickly. Alright, what's over here? Don't care. It's the same room layout on that side as the other one. I don't want to deal with that. Okay, so I can't go up. I cannot go up. So instead, I will have to go down. Fuck! I bounced! I can't... Oh, I just knocked one of the... Oh no, it didn't shoot across the room. I was about to say, it shot across the fucking room. Okay, so the blue ones are actually weaker. Alright. Fuck you, game! Fuck you. That's not a feature of... I just want to inform you all, in case it wasn't clear, that I'm not doing that where I go all the way over to the side. That's the bomb bouncing me. They only move you around in Morph Ball mode in later games for a good fucking reason. Okay, I don't know what the timing on that is, and the arc is not really great either. Alright, so I'm going to try this again because I think this actually is the way to go. It's just very, very shittily described. Give me some fucking health already. Okay, that's something at least. It's not a lot, but it's something. Alright, so apparently around here there's a fake floor that we can bomb through. I don't like this kind of secret finding. And yeah, it shows up in other games in the series, and it's much less bad there, I feel like. Maybe part of that is just because, like, you get used to it very quickly in the other games, just by virtue of... Oh, hi, Killer Seahorse. Just to get back to what I was saying, just by virtue of the fact that I have no fucking... Just fuck you, game. Fuck you. Just by virtue of the fact that the game is better built around that kind of stuff, and there's other types of things you can use to find secrets, and the bombs will help you help you see rather what you need to use to get those. And then you're trained to do it from fairly early on. And in those games, the blocks tend to, like, have actual differences to them, so you pick up on that early enough on that it's like, oh hey, bombing to proceed is a big way to... Fuck yourself. Time to take a reset. That bombing to proceed is a big part of the game. And in this game, there's nothing like that. It's just like, oh hey, here's a random part of the scenery that it turns out that you can bomb that you have no real idea to believe that you could do that. And you might think, oh hey, those rooms where you got to the ice beam and the completely unclimbable thing, those should have told you, right? And yet they don't, because the idea of having, like, enemies and, acid and stuff like that as background detail, that's not unusual. It makes sense as a thing that could be done. At least it does to me. And again, maybe part of that is because I didn't play this game at the time of release due to being -4 years old. Maybe it is perfectly sensible for people whose gaming thing goes back that far. They're just like, oh hey, that would be a waste. That would be a waste of memory or whatever, which, I mean, I guess, sure, it would be a little bit, but this whole game is kind of a waste of memory. Let's not kid ourselves. Alright, well that's 2 hit points, so we can survive the combo when inevitably the cheeseball seahorse shows up. I mean, yeah, that's true. Like, nothing in the NES era has aged particularly well. Outside of, like, the things that I think did the best in terms of the 8-bit era were either RPGs or adventure games. And by did the best, I mean, like, in terms of aging well. And even some of those can be, like, a real bastard. Like, I played Phantasy Star for the Master System fairly recently, and while I think that Phantasy Star 1 was a good-ish game, aside from the translation, which, it's the 80s, so it was decent for the era, is what I'm trying to say. It is far too grindy and difficult. The enemies are way overtuned, and I got thrown into lava by a fireball. Good, great, that's terrible. So, while the game had a good idea to it, and it spawned a decent series that Sega eventually just started absolutely destroying, followed by not releasing it to Western audiences whatsoever, probably because at least they knew that it was shit during starting around Phantasy Star Universe. The game is really quite terrible. It has not aged well. And similarly with this, I think the idea is pretty cool and all of that, but it has not aged very well. The first Final Fantasy as well is kind of similar in a lot of ways. That first game has not aged well, and you'll notice that, like, I think literally every remake of Final Fantasy 1 changed, for example, the spell casts system, as opposed to, instead it just gives you mana. I could be wrong because I have not touched either the GBA or PS1 version in a long time. But of course, I very vividly remember that the PSP version does away with that and uses an MP system. Like it should. Because the original magic system in that it's basically based off the idea of casts per day, which is a thing from Dungeons & Dragons. Who would have guessed the game is like 99% knocking off D&D to begin with. To the point where they had to change a monster design in the US release because of copyright concerns. Originally, the eye enemy in the hit the damn block in FF1, originally that was very directly a beholder in Japan. So obviously that's not going to fly particularly well. and I could not get out of the lava pit because of a hit that I definitely was trying to dodge. And the game just decided, hey, fuck you, buddy. So, yeah, that game is rough around the edges, and they changed it with every single re-release. That said, speaking of RPGs in that era, I have never liked the original Dragon Quest. Released as Dragon Warrior in the States originally. I'm sorry, but it's just not very good. And that said, I really could never get into a lot of the Dragon Quest games except for the Monsters spin-offs, which were pretty good. I'm getting wildly off track, but also, yeah. Oh, fuck you, game. Well, I guess we're taking the Underland route. Or we're getting trapped under a... Oh, my God. The worst thing in a game is when you get into a position, like, on purpose, and then you can't get out. That's... Like, obviously I didn't mean to fall in the lava pit, but... I got under that block, and then it just would not let me move. It's just like, oh, by the way, here's a trap because we didn't design this very well. Alright, we're almost back to that room. If we can just avoid taking, like, any damage in here pretty much at all, we should be fine. Alright, and that's part 1. Okay, well, at least that one's easy to get to. I was getting shot during the room transition. That is... Okay, that's actually the worst. That is actually the worst. Also, oh hey, secret room. I hope there's something useful here. These platforms, what the fuck? Yeah, okay, that's totally necessary. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. I could, though. In fact, honestly, I probably should, but nah. I am going to just make a save here, and we're gonna finish up for the night because, well, I got the high jump boots. I at least got some sort of useful item. And the ice beam. Even though I got confused on where I was supposed to go very, very badly because this game... You know, I know people complain a lot about modern games and how it's like, oh, they tell you where to go too much and they, you know, basically hold your hand. Then look at this. Yeah. Market difference, and I would say that this is better by a wide margin.